Canada spouse visa after 6 refusals. I am sharing yet another great success story of Prem Kumar from Gujarat, who recently got his spouse upon work permit after 6 refusals. Last year, he had 5 refusals from Canada for spouse visa and 1 refusal of visitor visa from UK as well. He got 6 refusals, but even when he brought this file to us, that time as well, he did not have funds ready with him. Usually what happens, if someone is getting back-to-back refusals of spouse visa, they keep the funds ready. They have odd funds as well, but it was not the case with him. He was actually with some consultant who was arranging the funds for him, and he was dependent on someone else for his funds. Finally, we arranged his funds, put those funds in the form of GIC in Canada, applied for his visa and got visa as well. Great success story. We got it in first attempt. He had already had 6 refusals in the entire process last year. He was so in panic, and after getting his visa, both Avni and Prem Kumar both were really happy because it was a long wait and so many applications happened last year, and they had the eligibility. They were meeting the eligibility as well, but the way visa application was done, it was not appropriate. So many congratulations to the family, Prem Kumar, Avni. Finally, they are going to be together in Canada. And Avni right now, she is in UCW. She is doing 2 years of master degree and she is perfectly eligible to get spouse visa for her husband. So eligibility was there, but still somehow they were not getting visa, and ultimately came to us and finally we got the visa. In first attempt we got it. So this is the PPR of Prem Kumar. So he got visa on 20th of January. This visa is in stamping right now. He is going to get it stamped and then he is going to travel to Canada. Most probably next month he is going to travel to Canada. So these were the messages after finally we got it. So I wrote 5 refusals. Actually he had 6. I didn't know about his UK refusal. I am going to show that to you as well. Usually I don't recommend that when you are getting refusals from Canada, no one recommends you to apply for US or UK or Australia in between those applications. It's not recommended at all. I don't know what kind of mind is that, and consultants also, they kind of agree for that. So I don't know this kind of mindset, but usually if you are in the process of applying for a big country, do not actually turn towards another country. Let's try for this country as well, that country as well. So it shows that you just want to go away from India, you just want to leave India, you just want to settle in a big country, and your prospect of returning homes are quite weak. Do not do this type of things. If you are in the process of applying for spouse visa for Canada as well, do not apply for any other visa. Just keep on reapplying for spouse visa if you are eligible. Many people they first will apply for visitor visa, then spouse visa, then spouse visa, then visitor visa. Don't do that. It confuses visa officer that what do you want to do? Do you want to visit Canada? Do you want to take spouse visa? What is your intention? So if the intentions are not clear, if you are applying for study visa, keep on applying for study visa even if you get 10 refusals. Do not apply for any other application. Your intentions must be really clear to visa officer that this is the visa I want to get. That's it. And I am going to get it. No matter how many refusals I am going to get. That's it. So keep on applying for the same visa application in the same country. Do not change the visa application in the same country. Do not change or do not apply for any other visa for any other country. Do not do that. It is going to impact your application negatively. So he did this as well. So this is not recommended. So finally he got his visa. They were really happy, and these were the messages we exchanged after they got visa in our WhatsApp group. These are the refusals. First refusal, Fab. So January, I guess Avni started her classes and he became eligible to apply for spouse visa. So Fab, he got his first refusal. All common reasons are there. Then March, he got second refusal. Then next April, he got third refusal. Then August, he got fourth refusal. Then October, he got fifth refusal. So he got back-to-back refusals. Entire year he kept on applying for visa application. Entire year kept on getting the refusals as well. And this is visitor visa application refusal of UK. So he got 6 refusals overall in last 1 year. And both are from big countries like Canada and UK. And finally, we applied for him and he got his visa as well. In terms of profile, usually it doesn't matter. If you are working in your home country, usually it is enough to get you spouse visa. Work is important because it is a prospect of returning home, that you have career establishment in your home country. Family establishment is usually there, so we can mention that. Your financial establishment is usually there, we can mention that as well. Career establishment is important. So he is working right now, so that's again one important part. So this is his previous experience. He was working as supervisor, and second experience, I don't know, maybe supervisor or something. So he is working there as well. So till date he was working. So that's important to show that you are working right now. If you are not working right now, it decreases your visa chances. So Luckily he was working, so that is a positive part in the application. And some part, if you are not working, at least show yourself working as freelancer for some duration. And currently as well, if you do not have any proof for any work or job, show yourself freelancer. You don't require to provide proofs for freelancer, and it's quite easy to provide the proofs as well that you are working as freelancer. So at least show yourself freelancer. If you are applying for spouse visa application or visitor visa application, any temporary visa application you are applying for, you should show yourself working, otherwise it decreases your visa chances. And then education, he has done BBA, but it doesn't matter. Even if you are 10th fail, still you can get spouse visa. Right now it is allowed. So good to go. There is no problem in that. Education is not a problem, but working right now, having some income in your home country right now, that is important. If you have that, in that case, it increases your visa chances. In terms of eligibility, so he had $31,000. So he requires 29,000 CAD for both of them, husband and wife, because they don't have any kids. So they require $29,000. So they are bare minimum meeting the criteria, 31,775. That's it. So this is what they had in actual with both of them. So funds, where you can show funds? You can show funds with husband or wife in Canada or in India or anywhere in world, in saving account or fixed deposit or GIC. So that's how you can show your funds. I repeat, it can be with husband or wife. It can be inside Canada or outside Canada. It can be in the saving accounts or fixed deposit or in GIC. So that's how you need to arrange the funds. These are the core funds. Total liquid assets can be anything. You may have $1 lakh of total liquid assets. You may be having car, you may be having cash, gold, many things can also be there. You may be having mutual fund, shares, or any other thing. So many things can be there in liquid assets. But core funds are with husband or wife in saving account or fixed deposit or GIC or inside Canada or outside Canada. That's it. So these are the funds, are the core funds. You require $29,000 if you are just husband and wife. If you have one kid as well, then $36,000 are required. If you have two kids, then $43,000 are required. So depending upon your family size, you need to arrange funds. He did not have funds, old funds available. Usually people have it. If they are getting refusals, usually people keep the funds, and the funds keep on getting older with each application. We also do that. We sometimes manage recent funds. We make a fixed deposit. We apply for visa, get refusal, and by the time we get refusal, funds are 3 months old. So for next application, funds are 3 months old. Then we apply, and then that time we get visa. So it happens like this. So he was getting refusal, back-to-back refusals. I have shown it to you. He was getting back-to-back refusals since January, February. Still, he did not have old funds because he was not having his own funds. That was the problem. So here we showed a GIC. So basically, these funds were arranged immediately before the visa application, and we send the entire money to Canada. This is one trick you can do for spouse visa application. If you are unable to prove your financial capacity, old funds in your home country, rather than depositing the recent funds in the bank account statement, make a fixed deposit. That is better. But even better than fixed deposit is doing GIC. So if you have old funds, anywhere is fine. If you have old funds and there are not big transactions happening in your account, in that case, everything is fine. So suppose you have 4 months, 6 month old funds in the account and you are not doing any big transactions in the account. Great. Give your bank statement, good to go. But if you have recent funds, suppose your father are giving you funds, mother giving you funds, or anyone is giving you funds, or you are taking a loan or doing something, arranging the funds from anywhere. So worst is showing them in bank account, because visa officer will see your statement and visa officer will see, oh no dear, you recently deposited a big amount in the account, from where you got it. I believe this money does not belong to you. I am not going to grant you visa. Better than that, perception wise, do a fixed deposit. It is better in terms of perception. These are, again, here also these are new funds, here also these are new funds, but fixed deposit has better perception in the mind of visa officer. So you can do fixed deposit. Even better, send it to Canada in the form of GIC. Now you may ask, husband is not a student, how you send the money in the form of GIC? It is allowed. Anyone can do GIC. You can open account in ICICI Bank or you can open account in Beacon. So these are good sources. You can do a deposit in Canada and in the form of GIC you can show your funds. Good to go. There is no problem in that. While opening your account, whenever you are going to land in Canada, you can open the account. After opening the account, you will get the entire money back. That's it. But it increases your visa chances, and this is one great trick actually got him visa. So you can also do it if you stuck with the financial capacity, if you don't have old funds. So you can use this trick to get your visa. So in India saving account, he just had just $1,675. Wife's account in Canada, $3,100. People ask me, funds should be with the husband or wife. It doesn't matter. They both are one entity. Okay, so both can show funds. It can be either with wife or with husband. Anything is fine. So half with husband, half with wife, entire amount with husband, entire amount with wife, or entire amount with the way you want to show it. Between both of them, the fund should be there. That's it. It should not be on the name of anyone else. Next part, first was liquid funds. So he barely met the eligibility criteria for liquid funds. Somehow managed this GIC, finally got his visa. After landing in Canada, he is going to get the entire money back. So in GIC, now you don't require to keep funds for 1 year. As soon as you land in Canada, you can take the entire money in your account and you can do whatever you want with that money. Second is, Avni is the student in Canada. So because she is a student in Canada, so she is doing 2 years of MBA. I believe she is now in her 3rd semester of MBA. One break she took. January she started, then took one break, then 1 semester. This is her 3rd semester. So finally, because she is a full-time student, we proved it and he got visa. Study permit is valid for more than 1 year. So that is also there. So usually if the study permit is valid for less than 6 months, in that case visa officer do not grant visa. So for her, that was not a problem. Her study is also pending, permit is also pending. So eligibility wise, we were all sorted. There was no problem in that. So that was the story of this particular application. If you are also stuck with your spouse visa application, one more thing is there that many people say that we also have that kind of case. If you enter in the last 4 months of study, a student is in Canada and you enter in the last 4 months of study, do not apply for spouse visa now. You are not going to get it. Stop now. When you are going to apply for PG work permit, along with PGWP, apply for SOWP. Whether it is SOWP from outside Canada or SOWP extension inside Canada. But apply for SOWP along with PG work permit application. Do not separate these applications. Even if you do not have a job, even if you do not meet any criteria, still apply for it. You are going to get it. Don't worry about it. So take this chance. It is going to be beneficial for you. Even if spouse is outside Canada, apply along with PG work permit. It is legally allowed. You should do it. Logically is good option as well. If you have your own funds, if the funds are ready with you, if you are not taking money on loan or interest, in that case, you need to keep these funds for approximately for 8 months. So if you want to apply, you should apply along with PG work permit application. Keep the funds ready, but funds will stay in account for next 8 months because on average PGWP applications take 6 to 8 months of time. In British Columbia, the timeline is 1 month approximately. So in British Columbia, do not take any chance. If you want to get PGWP really quickly, then apply from British Columbia. Otherwise, you should apply from outside British Columbia. There, the timeline is 6 to 8 months. But if you are in BC, then you are probably going to get your result within 1 month or so. So that is how people are getting it. It is actually a loss to get your PG work permit approved really quickly. Why it is a loss? Because whenever you apply for your PG work permit, after that, you get like 8 months of time, extra period of PG work permit. So 8 months you stay on implied status and you can work as well. You can work full time. Your entire experience is counted and you are working full time. You are earning as well. And when your PG work permit is approved, then you get 3 years of PG work permit. So you get 8 month extra period on PG work permit. But if you get the PGWP really quickly, in that case, the entire period of implied status is gone. And you just get the PGWP really quickly. If you get PGWP really quickly, and your 3 year of period starts from there. So you lose on that implied status period where you are allowed to work and that experience is counted for PR. So depending upon your location, it is going to be decided. In BC, timeline is really short. In all the other provinces, Ontario or other provinces, it is 6 to 8 months of period. So if you are applying from Ontario or any other province except BC, then you need to keep your funds for 8 months probably for the entire duration. So if you have your own funds, then always apply for SOWP. For extension, funds is not a problem. If spouse is already inside Canada, spouse is not a problem. Without attaching funds as well, you are going to get SOWP extension. So don't worry about it. But if spouse is outside Canada, in that case, you need to show funds. and you need to keep these funds till the time you are going to get your PGWP approval. That's how it is going to happen. So if you are in last 4 months of your study, do not apply for spouse upon work permit that time. Once you are applying for PG work permit, so just 4 months are left and you are going to get your course completion letter. Along with PG work permit application, apply for spouse visa. So if you want to understand this entire scenario, how you can apply for PGWP and along with that SOWP extension or SOWP outside Canada, so I am going to share these 2 videos. You can watch depending upon your situation. If your spouse is outside Canada, you can watch this. Spouse is inside Canada, you can watch this. These 2 videos are there. These are going to help you. Thank you so much for watching this video till then. See you in next video.